Yep, there it is. Yep, there it is. Alright, he's dead. Oh la la. Bad idea. What do you... Oh la la! Hello wonderful people, Valentin here. In today's video, I'd like to talk to you guys about fist weapon and their place in the meta, because some people actually think that they are overpowered since they got buffed in patch 108 with the speed boost to their attack and less recovery overall. So we're going to answer the question if they're overpowered or not. Short answer, no. And then we're going to try to figure out which is the best fist weapon. So we're going to talk about the buff that they've received. As I said, they got a speed boost and less recovery. Basically, these two combined together give you a lot of forgiveness if you whiff, or in the case where your opponent has a slower weapon than you can actually attack him and roll out into safety very quickly. So this is basically what was done to the fist, and the biggest news on the block is that they now have access to a very extremely damaging true combo, especially if you pair it with the Ash of War Royal Knight Resolve. And bad idea. What the true combo is the running R2 into the R2s. So this combo can be devastating, can dash out a ton of damage, especially if you buff yourself with something like Golden Vow prior to, you know, using Royal Knight Resolve. And basically people say that these are OP because of that, and also because of the very spammable running R1 on thrusting fist like KATAR and Cypher Pata. And yeah, so we got to this point where, you know, we've had some people like Stilovsky or G9 or even Gigas Thikash showcasing this weapon, and really they do a lot of damage. They seem to be able to roll couch people very easily. The truth is that fists are not OP at all, because they have a huge downside, and it is, first of all, their lack of range. They have a very small range. Very often you think you're going to connect and to hit your opponent, but very often you end up just doing 0 damage because you're not hitting them. So this is a huge downside to fist, and the other downside that we have is the very low poise damage that they do, and basically you can be countered very easily by a great sword or anything that is going to poise stagger at 133 poise damage. So something like a great sword, an ultra great sword, great spear, you know, all those weapons will hard counter fist. They also have a so this is one of the problems that fists have, and the last problem that I found is that they have a very small pool of Ashes of War. This is a complaint that I had on Reapers previously, is that basically you have those type of weapon like Reapers, like Fist, that have a lot less usable Ashes of War compared to something like Spears or, you know, straight sword, great sword. But what are the pros that you have on Ashes of War that you can use on Fist? And basically you have like something like Life Steal Fist, but it's so bad, and the range is very small, and it's hard to connect, so you really don't have access to a lot of attack that are going to counter. Basically what you do when you put an Ash of War on a weapon, you try to use the Ash of War in something that will compensate for the weakness of the weapon. You know, maybe using Stormblade on a weapon that has a short range or something like that, but Fists don't really have access to that type of attack, so really a downside to Fists. So I think fists are very good in order to dash out small amount of damage. So basically when your opponent is weak, you need to run them down, so you can roll catch them pretty easily with the running R1 on something like KATAR, the running R1 even on the striking fist like Kestis. But as your main source of damage, you're going to find yourself very often, you know, having a lot of trouble closing the gap, especially if you are against an opponent that knows what he's doing. But you can also dash out tons of damage if your opponent doesn't have enough poise, and if you are, you know, just trading machine R1 in front of the face of your opponent. So yeah, usually people don't even realize how much damage this thing can dash out. So yeah, they can be very good in that optic. So now let's talk about which are the best fists. So to make it simple, you have two types of fists. You have the striking fist and you have the thrusting fist. So in the thrusting fist category, the best one are Cypher Pata and KATAR, and in the striking fist the best one will be Spike Kestis, which is a straight upgrade to the regular Kestis because it has more damage and also access to base bleed build up. And we have the Star Fist, which has the same range of Kestis and Spike Kestis, but also have a bit more damage, a bit more AR. So basically the main difference that we have between the Starfist and the Spike Castes is the R2. The base R2, the neutral R2 is a bit different. You have a downward slam on the Starfist and just a straight forward punch on the Spike Castes. I like the forward punch much better. I think it's much more sexy. So this is why I'm going to pick Spike Castes as the best striking fist weapon. So now what about the thrusting fist category? So KATAR is going to be the best. The main reason why it's going to be the best, although Cypher Pata is amazing, it has the same range as KATAR, does dash out a tons of damage, can be used on the Fate build, which is one of the best build in the game because you can buff yourself and you have access to a lot of tools that you can use as a pure Fate build. We're going to use KATAR in the fist category because KATAR has access to piercing thrust damage because Cypher Pata is a straight holy damage only weapon, so it doesn't benefit from the counter damage that, you know, this weird mechanic that is in place in Elden Ring where you get basically 15% on buff on your counter attack damage, and you also can pair it with the Spear Talisman where you get another 15% extra damage on your counter attack. So yeah, basically KATAR is a real beast. So now between the Spike Castes and KATAR, which is the best? So if we take everything into consideration, the best options is going to be KATAR. KATAR is going to be the best fist option you can use, in my opinion, basically because it has a bit more range than Spike Castes. It also has access to extra counter damage paired with the Spear Talisman. So it's just basically a better option. The only thing that Spike Castes has over KATAR is that it has bleed build-up at base, and you can basically have quite a good amount of bleed build-up if you definitely play an occult build. So if you go pure arcane and using the Spike Castes, you're going to be able to proc bleed against your opponent very easily, and you can see me doing that in the video very often. But that's pretty much the only advantage that Spike Castes has. Basically KATAR is much better. The running R1 is very fantastic in order to catch people, to roll catch people to death, or just to dash out quick amount of damage and to roll out, because the running R1 of the Spike Castes is a 2-hit, so it goes in 2 times rather than the running R1 that goes in 1 time. It's a 1-time thrust. So this is basically the winner I'm picking for the best fist in Elden Ring at patch 108. Let me know what you guys think is the best fist. Am I missing something here? Is there something we can do to make our builds even better? So in the gameplay footage you can see me using 2 different type of build, pure strength and pure arcane. Pure strength is better if you're using KATAR because you're going to dash a lot more damage even if you go on if you go on dexterity, and occult is better if you want to use the Spike Castes and you don't want to bother just buffing it again and again with like bleed. So yeah, and in the Ashes of War, the best one you can use that I've found, or of course Rowan at Resolve. You can also use Beast Roar in order to compensate for the lack of range that you get on Fist to hit people that are very far, maybe against mages. It's very good. You can also of course use Quick Step, but I'm not using Quick Step very often because anything with Quick Step is just very strong and borderline broken. So yeah. And one very last thing I would like to add is that I think fists are a very good option in order to chase down your opponent once they are weak. They were being paired very beautifully when I was using the Colossal Sword again, you know, using on the offhand a Castes that I was able to, you know, mix up my timing on my opponent, dash out some damage here and there while using my Ultra on the other hand. But yeah, you guys can do whatever you want basically. Those are just my recommendation. I'll leave you guys with the rest of the duels. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe and comment. I answer to every comment. It was Valentin. I love you guys and I see you in the next video. Bye bye. Oh la la, fuck me. Hello Yuri. Are you ready, Yuri? That hurts? I mean, since he has the range, he can do that now. Good unlock, I love it. Beautiful. Yeah, you cannot tank a halberd. Oh, and the hatchet. Where is it? There it is. Ah, I was expecting it. Cannot really do much, to be really honest with you guys. Oh, was able to get him with the jumping attack. Beautiful. Fuck, thought I could do that. Oh, that's for me. That was free money for me. Maybe if you get hit by the, if I can get him. Oh la la, beautiful! Oh, he's one shot. Give it to me, please, Jesus Christ. I deserve it. You know I deserve it. Beautiful. Good try. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. That guy was really good. Well played, buddy.